What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down some of Zay Flowers' route running from Ravens rookie minicamp. So I hope this video helps you guys out. Hope it could teach you a few new things. But also, fellas, if you are a wide receiver and you would like a daily gym and on-field route running training schedule to follow with the exact exercises and drills to do, specifically for a wide receiver, check out that very first link in the description below for our ultimate wide receiver training schedule. It's over 200 plus wide receiver gym exercises and on-field drills, all designed to help your game. So check out that very first link in the description below if you're interested, fellas. Let's get started with this video. So now, first route we're going to be looking at here is just this basic kind of stop curl route here from Zay Flowers. So I think one of the best things about his game and why so many people in the Ravens organization are so high on this guy is his ability to change direction, right? So I think every single, college wide receiver coach, when they're recruiting a wide receiver out of the high school level, an NFL receiver coach recruiting a receiver out of the college level, they're looking for guys who have speed in and out of their breaks, smoothness with their routes, and their ability to decelerate on a dime, while at the same time selling their routes. So let's look at this route here from Zay Flowers. He pushes up vertical, running hard, good pad level, and is able to put the brakes on and stop right on a dime. So how is he able to do that? So going up into every single route, we have to start with this. What are we trying to make the DB think we're running? Let's say the DB's in off coverage and we come off the ball, whether we're running a 5-yard hitch or a 12 back to 10-yard curl. You have to make the DB think that you are running a fade. You have to make him start backpedaling, flip his hips, open up, and there are 3 specific ways that a wide receiver can do that. First one is going to be your speed, right? So when you come off the ball, you can't run off the ball hard for about 5 yards. Then let's say the break point's at 10, and then start to slow down at 8 yards, preparing for the break. A lot of younger wide receivers struggle to change direction on a dime because they're not confident in their break point. They're not confident in the stability in their legs, their ankle stability, their knee stability, their strength, their balance. All of those things are built from doing game realistic drills and doing exercises in the gym that will translate to that. So to name a few, for example, if you're in the gym doing a lot of one-legged exercises like RDLs, single leg box jumps, single leg squats, all of those things will translate to on-field play and help you with more stability in your cuts, which will help you cut while you're running full speed. So that's the first thing. We have to make that DB think I'm running a fade. Second thing is going to be your stride length. So leading up into this break, we cannot be running out with good stride, and then right before the break point, you start taking these baby choppy strides, preparing for the break. Because that change in speed and that change in stride will let the DB know that you're about to make a cut. And that's what leads to less separation. The whole reason we want to be able to sell fade on a route is to get more separation. Get the DB to bail out of there. So when I put the brakes on, I actually got some space. And then last but not least, which Zay Flowers has such a great example here of, is having a good pad level. So what does pad level exactly mean? It means exactly what it sounds like. It's the level of your pads. Are you raising up with your chest? Are you popping up? Are you standing tall? Because that's another form of an indicator. Let's say he came off of press coverage, or maybe it's off man coverage. A DB's eyes are supposed to be where on a wide receiver? He's supposed to be watching a wide receiver's hips, aka his body language. He's not looking at his eyes. He's not looking at his shoulders, because for a DB, high eyes is undisciplined eyes. And that's what gets a lot of DBs in trouble. So they're going to stay disciplined and watch those hips. So if Flowers comes off this break and right before the break point, he starts to raise up, maybe brings his chin up, raises his chest up so he has a more explosive drop of his hips, that's going to be an indicator. That little raise, that little pop up tells that DB a break is about to be coming. So those 3 things, fellas, speed, stride, and body language, is what's going to make this DB think you're running deep. You're running right past him. So now it's much easier said than done to self-fade, run as hard as you can, have a good pad level, and drop on a dime. Then it's much easier said than done, right? It's very, very difficult because, again, it requires a lot of things that require a lot of work, like leg strength, like stability, like balance, like right technique when you drop into the break. So if you're like a beginner wide receiver, let's say, you're a youth player, you're 12, 13 years old, you maybe don't have much experience at wide receiver, it's going to be probably tough to do this if you don't do the work required to make this type of break. So like we said, realistic things in the gym that are going to strengthen your legs, give you more ankle stability, help with your balance. All of that translates to on-field play. Now, what about the mechanics of the break? Because let's say I train all those things, but I have bad mechanics. You're still not going to be able to stop on a dime. So you see what Flowers is able to do here is he's able to just put the brakes on, right? Stops, does not drift on the route. He's able to just stop right on a dime. So when you guys drop into a break, there's 2 things that I tell wide receivers to think about. Number one, you want to think of it like you're playing musical chairs. Now, that might sound a little weird at first, but like I'm sure all of you have played musical chairs as a kid. And when that music stops, what do? You sit down as fast as you can, right? So leading into this break, what does Zay Flowers do? He sits down. He sits his butt down. He's sitting at his hips. He is dropping into almost like a quick squat position, because that is what that's what I call a level change. You're changing your pad level. You're dropping low, almost like somebody threw something at your head and you have to duck underneath it. Now, the problem with that is a lot of wide receivers will sit down, but they take it too literal. They'll sit down, their weight will get distributed to their heels, and their chest will be straight up in the air. But when your chest is straight up in the air and your weight is shifted back, do you think you're going to be smooth out of the break, or you're probably going to slip out of the break? Probably slip out of the break because your weight is distributed on your heels. We have to drop to a position of a low center of gravity, but also balance. So that's the second thing that I tell wide receivers to think about. You sit down like you're playing musical chairs, but you also have a string attached to your chin. And when it's time to sit down, somebody pulled that string straight to your knee. That string pull allows you to be able to sit down, but when your chin goes to your knee like this is a balanced position. This is how we have control at the break. This is how I'm able to stop on a dime, but also be able to get out of the break if I needed to accelerate back to the ball, if I needed to run away from a DB, whatever the situation might be. So fellas, when it comes down to changing direction, this is why so many people are so high on Zay Flowers, because of his ability to change direction. They got him returning punts. They got him catching screens, little flat routes underneath, because of his ability to make people miss and change direction on a dime. All those things we covered is what will get you more separation as a receiver. And it will help you get more yards after the catch, because all this stuff can be translated to running with the ball, not just running a route. So let's play this full speed again one more time. Great example here of Flowers putting the brakes on a dime and getting out. So now, Flowers is here. You're not going to be able to see him until after this ball is snapped. But I wanted to showcase this as a drill for younger wide receivers who struggle with their pad level off the line of scrimmage. So remember, we talked about that. The whole goal of every single route, whether you're running just a 3-step slant, whether you're running a 15-yard comeback, is we're trying to make the DB think we're running what? Trying to make him think we're running a fade. We're going past him. We're running past him. So off the ball, you need an explosive get off. And what so many wide receivers do the second that ball is snapped is they pop up and they lose speed out of their stance. So this is a great drill that wide receivers can do. So they have this like kind of like pipe looking thing, if you will, like it looks like like a lowercase n, if that makes any sense for you guys, or a really small doorway. So a coach is going to give a go call, and these wide receivers are going to explode out and burst out while staying low. So this helps them have that explosive first step off the ball, which propels them into the route and helps them sell the route and just get off the ball faster for better timing with the quarterback. So if you're a younger wide receiver and you struggle with speed off the ball, you have people telling you that you need to get into your routes faster, this is a great drill to do. Now, I realize probably not all of you have this type of equipment. So something that you could do, and this is what I have my wide receivers do, because I don't have this piece of equipment. I don't feel like carrying this thing around and traveling it with me everywhere. What I'll do is I'll have a wide receiver stand next to a wide receiver with his hand right over the top of his head. So with his hand over the top of his head, that forces you, if you pop up, you're going to hit his hand. So you have to stay low, and it accomplishes the exact same thing coming off the ball. So this is why it's important, fellas, to have that explosive get off, because it helps you sell the route and it helps you get into the route with better timing with your quarterback. So I just wanted to include that for all you younger wide receivers listening to this who feel like they need to get faster off that ball. So now, next thing that we're going to showcase here is Flowers catching just a simple, underneath route, whether it's a slant, whether this is a drag, whatever it is. But it's to showcase to you guys how the details are important in practice. So we talk about a lot of details on this channel. I'm talking about, selling vertical, the little nuances of selling vertical, the mechanics of dropping your hips, and also when you play the wide receiver position, catching the ball is a very, very crucial thing. Obviously, that's what our job is. Our job is to catch the ball and make big plays. So you can't be thinking about all those little details of like, oh, keep your hand in the dime and look the ball all the way in. When we have full pads on and we're in a game and we got fans screaming, we got a defense on the field, you have to think about those things in practice. So it becomes an automated habit. So the easiest way for you guys to stop dropping passes is to honestly focus on your eyes. Take a photo, if you will, quote unquote, take a photo of the ball with your eyes. So let's watch this catch here from Zay Flowers. This is a basic play. This is not a highlight. This is not a route. This is nothing. I just want to showcase to you guys the catch point. So you see, even a guy who plays at the highest level possible, when that ball hits his hands, what is he doing? He's taking a photo of the ball. He is seeing the football make contact with his hands. Guys, this is something you have to do on every single catch when you're in t-shirt and shorts, when you're in just shell, so you build that habit. Guys, catching, because a lot of wide receivers listening to this want to get better hands. They need to get better hands. Guys, you need reps. It's not complicated to improve your hands. There are a million drills you could do out there with tennis balls. You could catch a million passes. You need reps to improve your hands. You're not going to get better by just thinking about one simple trick. It's about thinking about this trick of taking a photo of the ball with your eyes. The only thing in your line of vision is the football. It's not the football and the goalpost. It's not the football and the coach. It is just the football. And if you can rep that out consistently in a game, guess what? That's the only way you're going to know how to catch a football, and you're going to be more consistent. So I just want to show this because, again, in practice, the details matter. In a game, you're not thinking about this. You're thinking about a lot of other things. But in practice, these details matter because that is what translates to an actual game. All right, fellas, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to leave those in the comment section below. We always appreciate the feedback. It's always great to hear from you guys. And again, fellas, if you would like an ultimate wide receiver gym and on-field training schedule to follow this offseason, check out that very first link in the description below. We'd love to get you on that. I'll see you guys next time.